It also raises what I think is an important issue, and the concept of neutrality. It's sort of fundamental in the Western model of mediation. Personally, I'm not a great admirer of that, but that my opinion on it doesn't matter. But you raise in your explanation there that neutrality, as we might define it, has to be, if I'm correct, put to the side, because you've got this concept of kinship, and the importance of neutrality is perhaps not as important in some of the cultures that you're working with that it is in our more legalistic system. Is that correct?
Yes. So the idea that you would be neutral, in my head, that's impossible. So don't even go there, right? That's not a
Agree on
stance you
that.
take. So then what? Well, that begs the question: what do you do instead? And so, what are the things that are going to go on in your head if you are not neutral? How do you counter that? And that's a whole different problem. So, the question might become Polly's ontological violence. Well, what do I do about it? So, one step is the stranger space, that idea. Another step, and I'm taking from what important Indigenous authors say about interacting with Indigenous folk. And one of the principles, so there's a woman called Linda Toohey Smith who writes on this. One of the important concepts is that in Indigenous cultures, in that kinship and who you related to is really important. So to come in and talk to people as a stranger offers no access for that community. They don't know how, I mean, put simply, there's no rules around how they might behave toward you. Who are you? What are the rules around that? What can I expect? How can this be the case? So in my case, we're trying to build a set of relations. So I might call someone auntie in the sense of she's part of my family, my father's sister or something, or mum, or use the term for cousin or something like that. So there's a relationship you would have with the people around you. And so they've got given that reciprocity is really important, there are some rules around how that exchange works. And the exchange works for information and conversation as much as it does for food or dollar or something. And that's where the concept of the stranger space, because clearly people know that you're not relation in the sense of from the place, but you've got a term that relates you to the place. And so that definitely creates this stranger space that I believe is important. Plus, then people know what to expect in the mediation, what my role might be in relation to people, and how to pay respect to people in the room. So, we might, as Westerners, say, oh, Mr. Such and such, would you like to comment on that? But, in my case, I'd be saying, Uncle, what can we tell you a bit more about that? Because sister over here, she looks like she's not understanding what's going on, or needs a better explanation or something. And so I've called into a question the how it is that people are related and how they're related to me. My paper doesn't offer any explanation on, I don't think it offers too much on how to actually achieve that in a remote